share. Want to share. I want to remove sharing formula with production formula. That's what we want to do.
Can this be done in a 4-year tenure?
Who said so? You can start. If people are sure, if you say you're moving from here to Akwa Ibom like he wants to do, once people are sure we're on road to Akwa Ibom, they'll have patience. What is happening here is that somebody says we are going to Akwa Ibom, the car is going to Zaria. No, we want to be on the road to where we want to go to. We have patience. That's all. We're not talking about this.
What can the average young politician, male, female, do in order to beat this system?
Taking it in two ways. I've always said to young people, do not take to politics as a profession. Please. It shouldn't be, because you won't give the best of your service. Like he says, if you're going to do that, get involved at the party level. Or you're doing something, find yourself, because I've had people who started their life, essay, this, that. This thing is that you're not going to retire with it. And you're not going to create a fortune with it unless you steal. So, start doing something, participate in various ways. Like it says, you can be a member, you can be in administration, you can be in anything. You can be a member of party, participating in party affairs while you're doing your business. I've been a member of party, even outside this country. When I lived in England, I was on Conservative African Committee. We just put small money. I face my business. You can do that. But ensure that the right persons are in office. The reason why it's become polluted and corrupt and everything is what I said earlier. Because bandits have taken it over. So they have to create an obstacle for entry. Because they want to keep doing the same thing. So they now tell you, for example, you want to be house member, at that level, you pay 5 million. Tell me, you want to be local government chairman, maybe it's 10 million. Governor is 25 million. Of course, president has risen to 100 million. So you could see where we are. In a country with a per capita income of $2,000, people are paying 100 million to run for office. But in America, where we learned it from, with a per capita of $75,000, almost $70,000, you don't pay $5,000 to run for office. But here, 100 million is $200,000. So they've raised the bar of entry because it's become a criminal organization. You can stop that by electing good people. When they come in, they will lower that entry. They will stop it because it's wrong. It shouldn't be. In a country where you are paying lecturers, professor in a university is earning 400,000 naira, $1,000. You're asking somebody to contest for governor with $200,000. That means no professor can ever. Ask even all of us who are paying it to bring our tax clearance, so we'll show where we earn such money that we are using to pay for that. So you have allowed, that system has been criminalized. And you must deal with it by voting the right candidates and asking them even, what will you do when you enter about these fees? This is time to answer it. So you take note. Peter Obi said when he becomes this, he will remove all those charges. You take note. If it doesn't, when he goes in, you insist. It is for the people to say no to those of us in office. What we do is send criminality. Look at what Senator did today. He came in here, he apologized because he knew he was late. There was a time fixed for this thing, 5 o'clock. I have been in office as governor. You come to a church, thank God some Anambra people are here. And people will tell you, you are late. And people will say, come in front. Let's come and stay at the back. That's where you stay. Nobody of being governor. And you're telling them, no. I was at church this morning with my friend. We came late. And somebody said, no, we have a seat for you in front. I said, listen, let come and stay at the back. That's where they're meant to stay. Irrespective of who you are. You have to stop celebrating what is wrong. That is why impunity is continuing, because impunity has become a measure of success and power in Nigeria. So you can stop all these things. And I talk about general corruption. Let nobody tell you can't stop corruption. If you're not stealing yourself, your wife and children are not stealing, those around you are not stealing, you reduce it by 70%. Because as governor, you will approve what they will steal. So when you approve to take your own, everybody will start adding his own. But if you're not taking, nobody will add. Go to me anywhere. I've been governor for 8 years. And they will tell you, go and show me where anybody added his own in Anambra State. Because I have to take first now. Before you take. So if the leader is not taking, I'm not a center. If I'm not taking, you can't take. So I have to start. There's so many offices that we need to, you can abolish, that leads to corruption. And when you abolish them, it will not happen. Same thing in the party and what they are doing. And my friend in the Young Democratic Party and Young Progressive Party, which I'm encouraged with what they're saying, and let them continue in that direction. Let young people get involved. And your getting involved is to challenge this rascality, challenge this corruption, not for you to come in and become part of it. When you become part of it, you're hurting yourself. Because most of the people who are at the exit stage, none of you today knows that your country is borrowing money that is not payable until 2050, 2055, when all of us will not be there. Go and check the bonds we're issuing, Euro bonds we're issuing today. Senator knows when they approve it, it's 2055. Soon we'll start borrowing 2060. And we won't be there when it matures. We will have all gone. And we are not putting anything in the sinking fund to pay it. Because if you have a sinking fund, you're servicing it, you're saving. So start questioning your local government chairman. Start questioning your governor. This is time to remove all those appendages. His Excellency, Honorable, Dishonorable. Let's bring them to their name. So until when they end it, we call them.
Thank you very much. While you're still holding the mic, because we're rounding up now, there's a question that's come up about correlations being drawn between you and the late, great Alex Ekwueme. Besides being both Igbo, are there any similarities in your perspectives of politics and of the world? Is there anything that you sort of fashion your work around?
Well, I can tell you, one thing I know is that, like me, people were not happy with him. Because he insists on doing the right things. You cannot meet him one is a man of very high. I think, like I said, you can't come. I don't see people who are as intellectual as he is. He knows everything and he listens. So, like I said, it's not somebody who convinces you. You must come with a superior reasoning. And so they're not happy. People like here, of course, it's not like me, it's not in share money. And so don't say, when you say I'm stingy, maybe these are things that we have similarities with. I don't see him sharing money to anybody. He only spends money for need. So he's educated so many people because he saw the reason. I was growing up and hearing scholarship from Ekweme. So he was paying people school fees, educating them, sending them abroad to read. Not to, and I grew up and I went to his house. He didn't have a big house. He didn't have big cars. He didn't have, so I was wondering, why is this man treating himself like this? So with time, I found myself doing the same thing. And I said, maybe it's not somebody you see. So the similarities is that he was a man who believed in tomorrow and was building tomorrow. As such a person, this is what we need in this country. People who believe that you have to do the right things, the right values, the right is, and structured self and everything. And may God give us opportunity to have men like that, so we can start driving this future. Otherwise, I can assure you, this place will collapse and we'll all become refugees. So as I conclude, take back your country.
People say that the parties are too fluid. The ideologies and the philosophies that govern how the parties operate, what they believe, whether economically or in terms of financial planning, regarding foreign policy, there's really no clear-cut agenda that people see in the way parties have been set up previously. Mr. Obi, in your mind, and they say also this is the reason why politicians move between parties so easily, because there's really no gate that says, oh, I don't agree with this and fundamentally I cannot align with this, or fundamentally align with this. Is an important question because as Christians, we have values and doctrines and ideals that we profess. In your mind, how is this shaping in Nigerian politics, and have you found any kind of clear-cut ideology among or between the parties?
Well, there's none. It doesn't exist. Maybe maybe it's somewhere, but I have not seen one. And that is why it is important from what he's saying that, and I say it every day, those who are in today should be outside. They're not competent. I'm very sorry. And I want you to judge using me. I'm involved. 70%, 75% of those who are in today should not have any reason to be near them.
Why?
I've said it before, and I've said it repeatedly, and I want it to be on tape. Politics in Nigeria is a case of where lunatics took over the asylum. They must be out. You must replace that asylum with people who are competent. This is the only country where the worst is leading. The best will lead. I've served there. I'm a trader. And I've started gradually and entered into politics. He was just telling you a story how he left the party. The impunity is telling you it's all over the place. It's not just in PDP. It's all over the place. He mentioned greed. People are not greedy here. They are sick. Because greedy is when you take more than you need. But when you take Far more than you need, you're sick. How do you say that one person, how do you think about one person taking 80 billion, $200 million? That's sickness. It is not greed. The person is sick. Greed if he's taking 1 billion, which is not entitled to. But 80, sickness. That's the simple. And as I said, mad people have taken over. I have served the state as governor. And I can tell you, there's no enough resources anywhere in the world. No country have enough resources. But they have enough resources to do what is meaningful. But what you see here is that somebody is the local government chairman, state governor, everything, and he stays for the number of years he will stay. All he's telling is giving people excuses and complaining. What you saw when he came in, what were you seeing when you were outside? You're a leader. You are there to solve problems, not to complain. We didn't elect you to complain or remind us what the previous person was doing. That was why we brought you, is to solve the problem. And there's no ideology. Whatever I did as governor was what I thought that was good, reasonable, anything. I didn't say anything that the party was telling me to do. There's none. People have asked me this question. I said, okay, if there was an ideology in the party, the person who followed me, let's see how that ideology. So there's none. So nobody questioned him. If I save money, it didn't continue because it wasn't in the party manifesto. If I took school from number 26 to number 1, it wasn't there.